Hey ladies, welcome to episode 118 of the Health, Life, and More for Women podcast. It's Jennifer, your host, your certified intuitive eating counselor. I'm excited to dive into this episode today, and part of it's because this is a big part of the work that I had to do for myself, and I made something for you. All right, let's dive in. Welcome to the Health, Life, and More for Women podcast. My name is Jennifer D'Amato, a certified intuitive eating counselor, coach, mom of four, lover of all things pink, and I want you to live your best health and your best life. I believe the way we can all do that is by finally walking away from diet culture, by relearning what your body needs, reconnecting with your body's biological signals, and redefining what health is on your terms. This show will shed some light on sneaky ways diet culture has infiltrated your thoughts, your family, and your well-being. My heart is that no matter the episode, you walk away feeling informed, inspired, and encouraged. Let's go. So before I became an intuitive eater, before I ever started pursuing understanding intuitive eating and walking away from diet culture, I never thought about my relationship with food. I'm not sure I even used those words, or thought I have a relationship with food. I mean, I might have been able to tell you my thoughts and feelings on food, but I didn't ever think about that in the context of a relationship. But I really, really like that terminology of a relationship, because if we come from that positioning, we come from that thought space of a relationship, I can actually understand things a little bit better. I can look at it from what is a healthy relationship, what is a relationship that needs some work, and what is an absolutely toxic, abusive, need to get out, run away, don't ever go back kind of relationship. So the concept of having a relationship with food, when that was introduced to me, it really did open my eyes, open my mind, and was kind of the catalyst for change for me. So just like any relationship, I went into observation mode. I went into reflection mode and really started looking as best I could, from, like an aerial view, right? Coming up that 10 feet above whatever it is. I'm really short, so 10 feet sounds really big to me. I know people use other terminology here, but just taking a wider view, taking this view from as much as outside I could. And I saw things in a new way, and it helped me to understand myself better. Now, I realize everyone's journey is different, and what I'm going to share with you today and the work that is possible to do here, you might not be ready for. I just want to be really, really clear that when I talk about this observation, this place of reflection, you might not even feel comfortable doing it on your own. It is work that I do with my clients, whether it's in a group setting or in my one-on-one coaching, that we dive into this place of observation, and they want to do it with someone by their side. But I do think you can start on your own, looking at this relationship, looking at how you feel when you eat. So I created a food and feelings journal. I actually took this from the work that I do, the work that I've done, and the work that I really believe in helps you start looking at this relationship you have with food. Now, before I dive into what's in the food and feelings journal, I want to give some just kind of caveats to using it. As someone who tracked everything I ate, I mean, to the point of obsessively tracking, I want to first just say very clearly, this journal might not be for you if you're still in those early days or even early months from not tracking. If you identify with orthorexia, if you feel that you've been obsessed with tracking and those health related behaviors and habits, that maybe right now, this is not the time. This journal is also not for food tracking of any kind. I know I personally needed quite a bit of space away from tracking, weighing, and measuring everything before I could actually do this exercise in my own work, of letting go of dieting and healing my relationship with food. So tracking, whether it's points, macros, calories, it keeps you focused on what's going on in your head and not what your body's experiencing, which is what we want to tap into. My second kind of warning or caution here, right, is that simply this is a tool that is only useful if it's useful. And what I mean by that is it's not for everyone, and only you can decide if this is a helpful approach to getting to know yourself and your eating experiences better. Lastly, I want to say that this journal is not for judging what you ate. I mean, judgment has no place in the work that I do anyway, but I just want to be really clear. In fact, the food is only a really small part of this exercise. My heart behind this journal is to give you an opportunity to gather data, to make those observations, to make connections. So I created a, done for you journal. You can actually download it on my website at healthcoach4life.com/food journal. healthcoach4life.com/food journal. Wherever you're listening to this podcast, in the show notes to the podcast is a direct link. So if you want to go ahead and grab that, everything's done for you, laid out for you, spelled out for you, easily printable. And, if you like things just ready to go, it's done for you. But I want to go over, first of all, what the journal is not, what the journal is, and then how you can use this to start that journey to healing your relationship with food. So first and foremost, this journal is not for food tracking, like I said. This journal is not to judge, it's not to critique or to criticize what you ate. This journal is not for those who don't find it useful on their journey. This journal is, though, to help you observe your relationship with food. It is to give you an opportunity to see connections with food and your body. And this journal really is a place to gather data on how hunger and fullness will show up for you throughout the day. So the first thing you'll do is just really note the time of day and the food or foods that you ate. And you can just keep in mind that, when you're writing down these foods, keep it general. Of course, there is no weighing, there's no measuring. It really is just very simple. It could just say, eggs with toast. I had a piece of chicken and some salad. I had cookies. I had a handful of grapes. Like I said, the food is really just one small part of what you're observing here. Next, just note your hunger level before eating and your fullness after. Now, I have a few options here, and I think you need to find what feels good and what works for you. You can use a simple 0 to 10 scale. You can use the terms pleasant, unpleasant, and neutral. Or you could even describe how hunger, feels in your body. Maybe hunger feels like your stomach growling. And maybe fullness feels like, I just can't have another bite. And just note how hunger and fullness showed up for you. If you want to hear more about using the hunger scale, you can tune into episode 116 from just a couple episodes ago, where I describe this in more detail. You'll notice in the journal that there's one more column here. It's an other column. And this one actually might be the most insightful to you, because this can be noting for how you felt. Did you feel satisfied with what you ate? Did you like it? Was it enjoyable? I often find clients sometimes, note that I eat the same things over and over again, and I just wish I had more variety. And they notice that when they start observing. They might even notice they've been eating these diet foods. I'm going to use rice cakes as an example. And they've just kept those in there, and I really just don't even enjoy it. I don't know why I'm eating this. This is a great place to make those observations. In that other column, you could use that though for emotions. You might notice how you were feeling in that moment. Maybe you were feeling really frustrated, or you were sad, or maybe it was a celebration. You can note that before, during, or even after eating. You could also note any distractions you had while eating. Maybe you were listening to a podcast or reading a book, having a conversation with a friend. Remember, you're increasing awareness and gathering data to help you best honor your body, to better understand it. And the ultimate goal, of course, is to heal your relationship with food. And I do believe the best way to start on that path is to make these observations, to have this data. I also included for you on the Done For You journal just a final notes page. And the reason behind this is then you can kind of take all of this information and create a plan for what's next for you. Maybe it is increasing variety. Maybe it's actually you decided, I need to cut out these foods I don't enjoy. Why do I keep buying them at the store and eating them? I'm just not enjoying this. I'm not satisfied even after having it. Or maybe it's doing some planning to have foods readily available. You notice, I find that I'm getting really, really hungry because I don't have anything to snack on midday that feels good and satisfying and that I enjoy. And you want to write that down of, I need to add those in. So I included that notes page for you as well. There's no right or wrong. There's no good or bad in this journal. You can't fail at it. You can just show up for yourself. Note what you're feeling. Observe, gather data. I want you to feel confident in your food choices, confident that you can not only hear your body's intuition, what it's saying to you, but confident that you are beginning the path to trusting what you hear. This is all key in healing your relationship with food. This is the first step. So like I said, I created something already done for you. It's chock full of everything we talked about right here, including a beautiful template done for you and a notes page while you gather the data, while you do these self-observations. Head to healthcoachforlife.com/food journal, or wherever you're listening to this podcast, hop into the show notes and go ahead and download the resource today. Then once you've done this, I would love to hear from you. You can come share your thoughts on Instagram. You can tag me on there. If you're part of my private Facebook community, I would love to hear from you on there as well. And if you're not part of our community, please come and join us. All of these things, everything to connect with me, share your thoughts, be part of the community, and of course, grab this Food and Feelings journal. Everything's right in the show notes, so just scroll down, click all the things, and come hang out with us and start connecting with your body and healing your relationship with food. All right, ladies, until next week.